All right, you guys, this is Savage Syndicate, and what we're going to do here today is we call it a media hack. I have my guy TJ White on here. He was a former Army Ranger. He's also going to be my first webinar guest next week on Thursday. So if you're a member, he's going to be the guest in there. We're going to walk through some basic daily tips that can save your life. So go ahead and jump on and be a Savage Syndicate member. But this one happened just last Wednesday. And it kind of hits home for me because it happened in Westminster. I grew up surfing Huntington Beach. It's one city north of Huntington Beach. I got off the freeway, exited this freeway where this happened, this gas station, a lot. So it kind of hits home. I'm not a NASCAR guy, but again, a loss of life is a loss of life. And so what happened was this guy pulls off the highway, goes to get gas. It doesn't talk about any kind of altercation or anything that happened. It just shows you that this douchebag is on the run right now after stabbing Bobby East. I don't know where he stabbed him, but obviously it was fatal. So I wanted to get TJ's thoughts on this. I've talked about it in the past where when you're pumping gas, don't just put the gas pump in your car and then start looking at your phone because there's people watching you and thinking, hey, this guy's an easy target. Now's the time to do it. So make yourself hard to kill at all times, gas station included. I've made it a habit, put the pump in. Well, first survey, when I even park and pull in, I make sure we're, my surrounding situational awareness. And then I put the gas pump in and I step to the left fender about 5 feet back so I can survey everything. If anybody wants to sneak behind my car or do anything suspicious, I'm on point. And if anybody thinks that I'm just sitting there with my head in my phone, I'm not doing that either. My phone's not even on me. I'm stretching, I'm doing some calisthenics, but I'm aware. I have my head on a swivel and I'm not being paranoid, getting ready to roll to the gas station pump. And it's not paranoid at all. It's just having life skills. And again, it sucks that Bobby East was a victim of this. But TJ, what are your thoughts? Like, what could we do as average people help ourselves to stay hard to kill at a gas station pump?
Um, so as I was reading over this story earlier, it sounds like the guy who stabbed him stabbed somebody else just prior to this.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I don't know what's going on. It's hard to tell. There's no video, and even when you do see the video, it's also hard because you don't want to armchair quarterback it. And hindsight's obviously 2020, but just some basic tips, especially with how crazy everything's going right now. When you drive in, you don't have to drive in and hit that first parking spot that you see or that first stall that you see. It's okay to just do a hot lap around the parking lot and look for anything out of the norm. Is there a big group of people gathered over to the back of the parking lot? Are they loud? Is there music playing? Is there shady characters hanging around the side of the building that you don't know what they're doing that are, peeking around the corner looking at people? These are just basic things. And before you ever even put yourself in that situation, you can just drive around the parking lot. No, I don't have a warm and fuzzy with this. I'm going to go hit the next gas station. Driving across the street could be a life-saving decision of just, no, I don't feel comfortable here. I'm going to drive literally right across the street and hit the next gas station. So that's a simple one just to completely avoid it before you ever get out of your car, before your doors are ever unlocked. Scan the entire gas station, do a lap, pull in, get your gas. You kind of just touched on it, but you should constantly be scanning your environment. Any new room you walk into, restaurant, gas station, parking lot, Walmart, it doesn't matter. We've I think it's always kind of been like this, but we notice it a lot more now. But bad things happen, and people constantly think, you hear it all the time, this will never happen to me. It only happens to other people. Well, those other people say the same thing. It'll never happen to me. It's only going to happen to other people. So if you're not constantly just being aware of what is going on around you, there's been school shootings, there's been shootings in Walmart, there's been shootings in parking lots. There was that shooting at like Twin Peaks or something in Texas. It doesn't matter where you're at. There's really no safe place. You always have to be aware. And I'm not saying you got to be paranoid and thinking this stuff's going to happen, but just by being aware and constantly scanning your environment, always know what's going on around you is enough. Because maybe even just identifying someone, like if you make eye contact with someone and they're looking for a potential victim, just by you looking at them or looking in their direction, making eye contact with them, that might change their mind and they'll say, no, not that person, because he just saw me, or I lost the element of surprise right there. So they're going to go ahead and wait or go find somebody else because, they lost that element of surprise. Another thing that you talked about, have your eyes up while you're pumping gas. It's natural for everybody. I got a couple minutes. I'm gonna go check my social media, see what's going on. Put the pump in, start pumping gas, and then scan. Again, you should be scanning. If somebody else is in the car, like your wife, your kids, or whatever. I mean, as long as your kids aren't little and it's just you. When I get out of the car, she locks the doors. And then she'll unlock the doors, whatever. When I get in the car and I start the car and everybody's in, the first thing I do is lock the doors. If you put it in park and you're planning on sitting there, a lot of cars now, you put them in park and they automatically unlock the doors, go out in park, hit the locks again. She's running into the gas station, the car should be locked. She comes back out, unlock the doors, let her back in, lock the doors, then continue on. And these are just, little things that make a huge difference. You're removing that element of surprise that somebody might have on you of sitting there looking at your phone with your doors unlocked, especially if your kids are in there. That'd be horrible. And just identify threats. And it can be as simple as, you might walk into a restaurant and there could be a shady looking douche like this who like, oh, okay, yep, definitely keeping my eye on you. Or it could just be an old man who just looks like he was a boxer growing up, has a smashed nose, he has some cuts on his eyebrows, maybe some cauliflower ear, whatever. And like, okay, well, everybody else in here looks pretty normal, but you have obviously fought a little bit. And he might be doing the same thing. He might watch you walk in, look at you, give you a little nod like, hey, I see you. Yep, I see you too. And that's it. That's the end of it, just these simple, basic things. They're life-changing, they're life-saving. And then I think we kind of talked about it on your podcast a little bit, but the basic first responder, knowing how to treat a wound, knowing how to stop a bleed, things like this, CPR. We've just entered this period to where crime is skyrocketing, and it's not just how do I avoid it, because you can't just run, you can't just be paranoid, you can't just lock yourself in your house. It's how can I be smart about this? And then if something does happen, how can I make the best decisions to correct it? And, basic basic life-saving abilities. And then, just constantly scanning, looking for threats, paying attention to your environment, staying safe, locking your doors, driving around the parking lot before you even get out and put yourself in these situations are going to be huge and moving forward.
Yeah, I think what you said is a great point. Like everybody in business, success leaves clues. Well, so does danger. And if you see this guy coming at you, he should be on your radar no matter what. It doesn't have to be at the gas station. Let's say McDonald's.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like this guy obviously has said, hey, I want to be a billboard for something. So exactly. This guy's moral standards are probably not going to be, I'm not judging anybody with tattoos, but with this guy is saying, hey, I have some different beliefs or standards than somebody else who's an upstanding citizen and law-abiding citizen. So, I agree with everything you said. And it was a great point. I always try to get gas on my own. I try to leave my cars, with not a lot. I don't leave them with no gas or empty because I don't want my wife to go out and have to fill it up. But that's a great point. If you have your wife and kid or your family in the car, you have to act differently than if you were by yourself, because if you saw this guy coming up and you didn't want to fight or a confrontation and you could run, there's no shame in running if you're by yourself. But if you got your family in the car, obviously you got to handle it a little bit different. So that's a great point. I'm glad you brought that up. So this is just some life stuff that I think me and TJ comes pretty natural to us. But that's what this Savage Syndicate is all about, is teaching the average person to be hard to kill. So we're going to do a lot of these little media hacks to try to just help and add value to you guys, so it comes natural to you guys as it does to us. And hopefully, if you're at the gas station, you're like, oh yeah, that one thing that TJ talked about, or that one thing that Josh has been trying to drill in my head, it comes to you. And yeah, we just want to, add value and inspire people to start training now. Don't wait until a douchebag like this attacks you and makes you a victim. And now you have some trauma experience and then go out and get the training. Get the training now. I don't care where it's at. I don't care if it's jiu-jitsu, boxing, Muay Thai, or whatever. I'm not pushing one thing over another. I'm just trying to inspire people to get out there and train and protect themselves and their families. So, TJ, I appreciate your time. I know it's a Saturday and we both have family things going on, but this came up across my radar, and I thought it was just great opportunity to share what me and TJ know. Him definitely on a higher experience than I myself, so I wanted to get him on here. But the message is the same: just always be vigilant, always stay aware, always just use common
Absolutely.
sense when you walk out of that door, because these assholes are watching us, so we need to watch ourselves and our family just as much. So. Again,
Mhm.
TJ, thanks for coming on. We are going to have a webinar this week, Thursday, 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. We'll address issues like this that could help the average person stay hard to kill. So if you're not a member yet, become a member and you'll have more stuff like this on the inside. All right. Have a great day, you guys. Stay safe, stay savage, stay hard to kill.